We've already seen some media production in Caroline Greer's advertising lessons. One of the most powerful ways to teach media literacy is to create lessons where learners produce their own media. But we don't have to confine our teaching of media literacy to classrooms or to advertising. Caroline's colleague, Tim McKee, gets learners involved in producing a school newspaper at Barnard Park, and through this, they learn a variety of important skills.
I think the newspaper provides, I don't think there's many forums for students to actually speak. Unless they're an SRC member or some sort of overt leader in the school, if they're a shy kid, their views are never being heard. And so the newspaper is kind of giving them a tangible place to speak. And it's especially powerful because they know everyone in the school is going to read it.
The learner journalists interview other learners about a number of controversial issues.
How do you feel when we guys touch girls?
Well, I think girls can't say no.
I'm very uncomfortable in threatened, actually.
Comfortable and
Uncomfortable.
Sure, enjoy it. They enjoy it. Have you asked them if they enjoy it too?
Sure, they do enjoy it.
I hate it.
You hate it. Why?
Because it's very disrespectful.
Especially around a controversial issue, they've got to get more than one view. And even if they disagree with those other views, as an impartial newspaper writer or a fan, get those views. And so it forces them to open their eyes to the larger picture and to access people that they normally wouldn't talk to. I mean, we had a kid who just went into a local park and interviewed a homeless family that was living there. And he normally would have just walked by them.
Tim helps an editorial team get the paper together, but is careful not to take over the process.
How do girls feel when being touched by boys?
You've got to get involved in getting the actual newspaper to be a finished product. If you're using a computer or a photostating machine, the money, whatever, you've got to be involved. But the actual writing, reporting, and designing is really their own. And I think there's been times where I've taken too much responsibility, and they're not as excited about it at the end. Whereas if I know they've really done it all, I know that when the finished product comes out, they're going to sell them because it's really theirs.
This is a sophisticated newspaper operation which uses desktop publishing facilities, but you don't need this technology to produce a newspaper. You could get learners to produce a handwritten bulletin board newspaper or a typed and photocopied newspaper with very few resources. It is important to realize that most of the good learning occurs in the planning of the newspaper. These learners from Sacred Heart College are planning a newspaper for the grade 7s. Learners research their target audience's interests, analyze the responses, and then begin writing articles that would interest their readers.
So now you've got to please look at your results very carefully, right? Decide in your group which are the topics or the areas that you think are very, very important to include in your magazine so that other grade 7s will want to read it. What are you talking about? The layout already, or what?
Many skills can be learned through radio production too. Let's revisit Olivia's radio lesson to see how she incorporates radio production activities. Her learners are preparing to act as radio journalists interviewing an award-winning street vendor.
It is important even for those people who are asking questions to ask questions that will enable them to learn more about the thing or the person that they are asking. Not a closed question, like questions that are going to give you just no as an answer. Because from no, there's nothing you have learned from there. To be a good journalist, you must be able to ask good questions.
Hi, my name is Martha. I present 702. I hear that people say that you won an award. How did you win that award?
I won the award because I was friendly to my customers and I sell fresh fruits and vegetables. That's why. And I got so much friends.
Okay. This is Martha presenting 702 in Johannesburg. Thank you.
In Olivia's class, the learners simply act out the roles and learn a lot doing so. But ideally, the teacher should get learners to record their programs onto a cassette. This makes the production activities so much more realistic.
Then I make a shelter for myself. Then, as you see, my things are covered with the papers.
The exercise involves more than just listening and speaking. the learners develop their imagination as they construct the life of a street vendor. Instead of a formal essay, their creative writing skills are developed in an activity which is authentic, and they also improve their comprehension and oral skills.
Right, like all good lessons, a lesson which uses media has to be well prepared. So if we were to go up to the staff room now, even though it's way after school is out, we will find teachers cutting up magazines and newspapers, listening to stuff from the radio or tapes and video. So let's go and see what's happening up